Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Hello. Say hello. First, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who watches my videos because I am now a part of the partner program, which I never thought would be possible because I don't particularly find my videos very entertaining, but clearly you guys do, so I am very thankful, very happy for that. Also, thank you so much for everyone commenting, leaving nice thoughts, questions. I read them all and I try to respond to as many as I can. Some days I just get so much, it's hard to keep up with them, but I don't mind that. It's definitely nice to see what you guys have to say about my videos. I've been getting a lot of direct messages through Instagram asking for raw advice. I'm just gonna have him sit like this for the video. He's a good boy. So today our topic is going to be the cost of owning a ferret, and this video was not requested. There were a bunch of other videos that were requested before this one, but I wanted to do this one first because I think it is a very important topic. Obviously, you should know what you're getting into before you buy a ferret and how much money it's going to be. Coming from someone who owns lots of ferrets, I think that this is important for any animal that you buy. That you understand clearly how much money they are up front, how much money vet care is, food, upkeep, stuff like that. I think being financially prepared is a huge step in being a responsible pet owner. If you are not financially prepared, you are not a responsible pet owner in my book. So today we're going to be discussing the cost of owning a ferret 2019 edition survey that was done on the ferret subreddit on Reddit. They surveyed, I believe, 100 or so ferret owners. I was one of them, but about how much money they spend, etc. So we're going to be going over that. Of course, costs vary per state, per county even. So take what you learn here with a grain of salt. Not everything is going to be the same for you. So let's start with the price of a ferret itself. Pet store ferrets average at around $200. I believe Pazu was $250. He was just a little 8-week-old baby. This is with no vet care involved. Most pet stores, their ferrets are not seen by a vet before being sold. So yeah, you have to go take them to the vet immediately upon buying them, which is an additional expense I will talk more about later on. Shelter ferrets vary. There's really no average when it comes to shelter ferrets. It depends on age, temperament, how many there are, but usually in the $100 range, less than that maybe. Oftentimes they have been seen by a vet already, so they've already had a wellness check done, they've had their ears checked, etc. However, I do not, at least in my experience with Appa and Momo, rescuing them from a shelter, they did not do like a fecal exam, and I don't believe they actually checked for ear mites, like took a swab and actually checked if they had ear mites. So that's something that you would have to go to another vet and get done, unless the vet at the shelter did that, but the one at Appa and Momo's did not. All they did were do a rabies vaccination and a wellness check, so keep that in mind as well. I've seen older ferrets being offered for cheaper, or if there's like a trio of them, just so that the shelter can pass them on to a new home quicker. According to the cost of owning a ferret 2019 edition survey, where again 100 ferret owners were surveyed, the average cost to obtain a ferret was about $150, but of course that's going to go up or down depending on what you choose to do. I definitely encourage you all to look at shelters or at local Facebook groups. I've been getting a lot of comments on and questions on how to obtain a ferret, so definitely look into Facebook local groups. I see ferrets listed for rehome every single day on those in every single state, so sort of like a what do you call it, like a thing around shelter animals that they have unknown health histories, so that they're going to be more expensive down the line with vet bills, and that's not necessarily, ooh, bless you, that's not necessarily always the case. A lot of pet store ferrets usually have ear mites or a parasite or, you know, fleas. This happens a lot, and I've seen it in a lot of ferrets that come from the pet store, or they have respiratory illnesses, etc. So just because you're getting a ferret from a pet store does not mean that they are going to be healthy and therefore cheaper, because you don't have to take them to the vet. That's not true at all whatsoever. I have Momo now because she was getting picked on. Little girl, she's so cute. So some of the upfront costs, you will most likely need some form of a cage. However, if you can have your ferrets live the free roam lifestyle as much as you can, that is awesome. And then just cage them overnight or when you're not home. That is absolutely ideal for them. So the best cage on the market is the Double Ferret Nation, which is about $240 new. You may also choose to go with a Critter Nation, which is about $250. So you can find them used for much cheaper. Facebook Marketplace, eBay. Lots of items in the house can be repurposed as bedding for ferrets, so instead of going out and buying hamster bedding or new fleece blankets, you can instead use, I know a lot of people will take old clothes that they're going to donate and instead use them as ferret blankets, cut up old jeans and use the denim since it's a really sturdy material. You don't have to go out and buy expensive hammocks or cubes. Also, not all ferrets use hammocks. Mine do not really use hammocks that often, but they love cat beds, so that can be around $13 to $25. I would always, I encourage to get two, so one for each floor of the Ferret Nation. Also, if you get more ferrets, like my 4, I feel comfortable having them in the Double Ferret Nation because they only sleep in it. But if I had to keep them in there longer, I would probably get the additional unit, even though our ceilings are so low. I don't even think that it would fit, but yeah, so keep that in mind. If you have more ferrets, you're going to need a little bit more space, or if they need more time in the cage. It's just what works for me. I'm not going to average toy prices because there are so many different options. Same with litter, but according to Reddit, the average owner spends $20 a month on potty supplies and $20 on toys and bedding for 2 ferrets. I'll insert the litter that I use here. It is Yesterday's News by Purina. I really like this litter. It doesn't smell bad. It's really good and healthy for the ferrets to use. I use that with a combination of pee pads. Food prices vary, of course. 80% of surveyed people fed kibble only, 5% are raw fed, and 15% are a combo of both, which is pretty crazy to me. I don't know why so many people feed kibble, but whatever. That's not the topic of this video. They claim $40 average monthly on food, although a lot of people that I've talked to that feed high quality kibble spend more than this, and of course that depends on how many ferrets you have. I think that these averages are for like 2 ferrets, but yeah, if you got more, it's going to be more money, of course, but it depends the food that you buy. I mean, if you're buying, some people mix, 3 to 4 different kibbles every month, so that can factor that in as well, but they're all going crazy. What are you guys doing? They're going crazy. So I spend a lot more than $40 a month. I wish I only spent $40 a month on food, but I spend upwards $75 to $90 plus. It really depends on what meat I need to order. I don't need to order like liver every single month, or certain organs, because I buy them in bulk, so it really varies. I couldn't average how much I spend. Vet care, basic vet visit is about $65 per ferret. It's going to be more or less depending on the state or even vet office that you go to. Each vet can charge whatever they want, so I paid about that amount, and $30 in addition for a fecal check, which I encourage everyone to go do. If you're taking your ferret to the vet, do it every year. So about $95 at the first vet visit for 1 ferret, so double that for 2. And here is a specific example of what I had to go through when I first got Pazu, and he had a parasite from the Marshall factory, so I had to get him treated for that. So I had to pay the $95. I had to go back to get medicine, that was $9. I had to go back to give a fecal sample again at $35. I had to get more medicine at $38.70. I had to do another fecal sample at $30. So that was about $200 for the first month of vet bills for just Pazu alone, which is pretty crazy, and obviously not everyone is going to have to go through that, but you have to be financially prepared for that if it does happen, because it does. Also, if you get a Marshall Ferret, they do have a health guarantee. It's good for up to a year, I believe, but it is completely void if you take them off of the Marshall brand kibble diet, which I definitely recommend doing because that food is garbage. So if you do that, the health guarantee is completely void. You can't use that. Vaccinations run to about $20. Vaccinations for ferrets are a personal choice. I've talked about this before. According to Reddit, have $650 on hand at all times for an emergency vet visit, although it is recommended to have $1,000 minimum saved for each ferret for a big emergency. That is a lot of money, and I know some of you are probably like, whoa, like I don't have that kind of money. What if something happens? Definitely just start saving your money. I put money into my savings account every single paycheck for these guys. My savings account is really just for these guys. It's just sort of like a safe fund that I have in case anything goes wrong, because it does happen, and if you think it will not happen to you, it most likely will down the line, so it's best to be prepared. You can get pet insurance. I believe there's one company that does ferrets, but not many will apply. I've heard from many owners that it's not really worth it for ferrets in the end. It's just better to save money when you get a paycheck. Just take out a portion of it for your ferrets. So we are now reaching the end of this video. I wanted to say a final note to the minors out there watching my videos and who are thinking of purchasing a ferret. I'm aware that a lot of my viewers are younger. Most of them are around my age, but I do, I've seen the comment section, there are some younger people out there that really want ferrets, but their parents don't want them to, etc. They're still living at home, and while I understand your want of a ferret is really strong, please consider your parents or whoever will be financially responsible. Being in charge of this is a hefty financial burden. Consider this when your parents reluctantly spend the upfront costs, you know, oh, fine, like I'll buy you a ferret for your birthday. Are they willing to drop $1,000 minimum in the face of an emergency? You have to kind of keep that in mind, because vet bills are extremely expensive. I've seen many posts from younger people asking for advice. The parents are refusing to get vet care for the ferret because, oh, it's just a cough, you know, they'll get over it, but turns out the ferret had a serious blockage and needed surgery, so, you know, stuff like that can happen. So this goes for most animals. I always recommend getting them when you yourself can be financially responsible, so the care of the animal is not compromised because someone didn't want to pay for something, or someone's at work, someone who would drive you is at work, something like that. I know it sucks waiting, but it's worth it in the end, and you will be giving your ferret a really, really good life. Howl's being a real jerk. You're being a real big bully to your little sister. You can use this time to become more knowledgeable, which is always good and can never hurt, so that when you have a ferret, you will already be an amazing owner. You'll already know everything there is to know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one, and I promise to work on some video recommendations. Those will be my next videos that I upload, but I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.